spotted lassoed onto the end of the thickest branch. "Is that your work?" "It is," admitted Annie in her normal voice. "I just wanted to see if I could do it." "I would have let the ladder down for you," George told her. "Last time I asked you to do that," she complained, "you made me guess about 1,000 million different passwords, and I still had to give you half my Kit Kat." "That wasn't a Kit Kat," George reminded her. "It was a piece of chocolate." He used his fingers to make comma marks around the word. "You tried to create under lab conditions, done up in a Kit Kat wrapper to see if I could tell the difference." "If a mouse can grow an ear on its back," protested Annie, "then why can't I grow a Kit Kat? It's got to be possible to make self-replicating chocolate molecules that just keep on doubling." Annie was a budding experimental chemist. She often used the kitchen as her own personal laboratory space, which drove her mother, Susan, crazy. Her mum would reach into the fridge to get a carton of apple juice and encounter crystalline protein growth instead. "FYI," said George, "your Kit Kat tasted like a dinosaur's toe." "It did not," interrupted Annie. "My homegrown chocolate was delicious." "I don't know what you mean. And when have you ever chewed a dinosaur's toe anyway?" "Toenail," finished George. "Seriously gross, like it had been fossilized for 1 trillion years." "ROFL," replied Annie sarcastically, "'cause you're like so gourmet." "You don't even know what gourmet means," George retorted. "Do so. What is it then?" George was pretty sure he'd won this one. "It's like when you have some gours," explained Annie, "and it's the month of May. It makes you go all gourmet." She just made it to the end of the sentence before bursting out laughing, so hard that she fell off the beanbag. "You're an idiot," said George good-naturedly. "With an IQ of 152? Annie picked herself up off the floor. She'd had her IQ tested the week before, and she wasn't about to let anyone forget the results. Suddenly, she spotted the line-up of George's possessions. "What's all this?" "I'm getting my things ready." George pointed at the equipment, which had been rescued from the tiny hands of his twin sisters and borne up to the treehouse for safety. There was a 60mm white telescope with black bands at each end, and a camera which he was attempting to rig up to the telescope so that it could take a picture. The telescope had been a present from his grandmother, Mabel, but amazingly, the camera had come from the tip. "So I can get photos of Saturn when it gets dark. If my boring mum and dad don't make me go in. It's my half-term project." "Cool!" Annie squinted into the viewfinder of the telescope. "Ugh!" she exclaimed immediately. "It's got something sticky on it." "What?" shouted George. He looked at the telescope more carefully. Sure enough, around the viewfinder was some kind of gluey pink substance. "That's enough!" His temper suddenly exploded. He started to climb down the rope ladder. "Where are you going?" Annie scrambled after him. "It's no biggie, we can clean it off." But George had steamed ahead, back into his house, his face red with fury. He barged into the kitchen where his father was attempting to give Juno and Hero their tea. "And one for Dada," Terence was saying to Hera, who opened her mouth, accepted the green goo, and promptly spat it back at him. Hera then shrieked with laughter and banged her spoon maniacally on the tray of her high chair, which made all the other bits and bobs of food jump around like Mexican beans. Juno, who tended to copy her twin, joined in, banging her spoon and making a disgusting wet farting noise with her lips. Terence turned to look at George, an expression of mixed suffering and joy on his face. Green slime dripped off his beard and down his homemade shirt. George took a deep breath to start on his angry tirade about small people who messed up other people's stuff, but Annie managed to squeeze past him just in time. "Hola, Mr. G," she sang cheerily to Terence. "Hello, baby girls." The girls banged their spoons and gargled eagerly at this new distraction from dinner time. "Just wanted to ask George if he could come over to mine," chirped Annie. She reached out a hand to tickle Hera under her soft, sticky chin, which made the little girl dissolve into helpless giggles. "What about my telescope?" George muttered crossly behind. "We will sort it," she said firmly back to him in a low voice. "So lucky to have baby sisters," she cooed over the twins. "I wish I had lovely ickle baby sisters. I'm just a one and only lonely child." She pulled an exaggeratedly sad face. "Humph." George would have liked nothing better than to live in Annie's quiet, geeky, techno-obsessed household with her scholarly father and her increasingly career-minded mother.